Hey guys, this is Orlando with Filmatic, and I wanted to drop another video right before the new year just to go over a couple things that ended up working for me and that are now part of what I call my cart or my bag. Lately, our projects have been pretty dumbed down, like not having to deal with the whole big crew. And even the ones I traveled with this year, the ones that I went to Atlanta and Memphis and places like that, I was able to secure equipment in those towns so that I can just kind of land in, bring a big camera, bring some of the gear, my lenses, things like that. But grip, support, lighting, all that stuff would already be there. In many cases, I try to find tripods. But there's a couple items that I found like traveling over and over in the kit with me. One thing that you see a lot on YouTube is all of a sudden all these brands pop up out of nowhere, and a bunch of influencers and different people that are on YouTube are selling you a couple of those things. Now, if you saw that on my page on my Instagram, I probably was sent more gear than you actually think, but I only promoted the stuff that I've actually put into my system. And this year, a couple of those items came from several different companies. Now, to build a relationship with certain companies, like I really have to work with them and know that they're there for like not just giving me gear, but also being able to help in a community set. So I got to give a special shout out to Dizio Film, Hollyland, Port Keys, also RoboCup, Get Realism. These companies, whenever I ask them, and there's plenty more that I've done it before, like Sprig, have actually sent us items to be able to give away during community events, pop-ups, workshops, and I'm always thankful to be able to do that. And some of the items that some of these companies sent me, I actually kept in my bag. Like they work, and I recommend them. And it takes a lot for me to recommend some of this gear. So. You guys know that I put my stuff through the paces. All my stuff has scratches, and we're just, this stuff is gear and it's meant to work. So when things work and things are when things work in our industry, then they're keepers. With that said, I'm going to show you a couple things that I added to my bag. First off, I added the Sony FX3. This is actually two. This is one of two. The other one I'm shooting with, and decided to make that investment this year, and just so that I can start filming behind the scenes content. Like we do so much stuff, and I have all these different cameras, and I just keep forgetting to like, hey, let me grab a quick video of us building this rig or putting things up. So by having two, it allows me to have one in the shop that I can just sit down and talk and be able to do these quicker. And then on the other side, I can take one with me or set up the two camera angles and things like that. So Sony FX3, didn't really use them a lot for production this year because there really is no need when you have things like the Alexa, and even though people did ask us for like the Sony FX6 and FX9 this year, but overall, like I was able to do some. I think I'm going to be able to do some damage with this one in 2025. So really excited that this is now in the bag. And so far, the images that I'm getting out of it, I'm pretty happy with. And I think it's going to move forward pretty well. Whenever I'm looking for a director's monitor or like a handheld unit that I can hand over to somebody, I want something that works, that's at least bright, that looks good, that has functionality. And I was pleasantly surprised by the Hollyland Pyro 7. Now, someone tried to take this monitor from me in a trade, and because they're looking for one. And when I knew that I really needed this is when at that moment, because I became hesitant. This has actually been a pretty good system in the field. It's something that I can connect to right away. I don't really use it as a transmitter, but as a receiver, I've been able to get some pretty cool stuff. Like I added this bracket that I've had of an old school IDX battery, if you can see it, and it gives me a lot more points. And then I also have handles that I found for $30 from I think the company Knits or Knights or whatever it is, and that just works well. I mean, you put a brick on this, it'll last almost all day. A good 90 watt to 150 watt. Like you can hand this over to your director. It's not heavy, and it's like all kind of comes in one. The old one that I had was from Wooden Camera, and I had a Teradek on the back, and I had a monitor, so I had a bigger power consumption, and those things just became a little bit of a sore having to get in there and swap out cables and all that. On this one, I can connect to the other thing that's in my bag. Hollyland, of course, I also use the Pyro S, which connects to that Pyro 7, but it's not my main transmitter. I still use the Teradek 4K 750 LT for critical focusing and for my AC, and I'm able to get at least two 101 systems, or one that can connect to at least two receivers. So Teradek still for me, just because of latency issues and those kinds of things, like this one is a no-brainer to have in your kit. But if you're using, the things have changed and people are using cameras with autofocus, and they have a client now, having something like this here where they can connect it to their to their camera, and then you have that director's monitor, or you can even turn on the feature where it allows everyone to connect on their iPhone. And I think that has been I hate to use the term game changer, but it has been, because even if I have a director and then I have clients, I can hand them an iPad. And they can see everything that we're seeing there. And not just that, they can take pictures. I had, for a long time, clients, you would see them pick up their phone and then take pictures. Well, now they can literally hold the phone and then take a picture whenever they want. Now, you don't want this in all cases, right? Like if you're doing a very high profile job, then this stuff doesn't work. But a lot of medium level companies, or companies that don't have a massive social media presence, or they like this kind of stuff, because they can just do things quick. They can take a picture, they can send it to their person for approval, that kind of stuff. The other cool thing about the Pyro S is that I can connect it via USB-C straight to to a laptop, and then the receiver will automatically give me the input, and I can use it via Zoom or Google Meet, or Microsoft Teams. That to me has been a whole other thing, that now I don't need to have a Teradek and a little cube that converts SDI to Thunderbolt. I just connect it there. It's a receiver. It just works, and I think that's, the latency doesn't matter. I mean, this is a signal that's going across the world, right? What does that matter? So, Pyro, the Hollyland Pyro system in itself has been great. I never thought that I would have used it, but when Hollyland sent it to me, I actually found myself using it more often than not. I just throw it in my pot, in that bag, and in the sector that I'm in, people are hiring kind of for all the bells and whistles. They're hiring what I call the kitchen sink. So all of a sudden, if they're like, man, I really wish we had some way to monitor, that the hair and makeup, that the gaffer, that sound guy could in some way just see the frame a little bit without having to jump behind the camera person. Well, I just pop that thing out, connect it, let it run, and all of a sudden we just solved a big solution. It helps things to go real fast. And that's the Pyro. So Pyro H, Pyro S, and Pyro 7 have actually been pretty good and have taken a place in my bag. Super grateful to Hollyland, because once again, they teamed up with us during the Houston Media Conference, which that'll be coming up next year again. So get ready for that. Where we're able to give away a couple of these Larks. We're able to give away a bunch of cool stuff because of Hollyland. And I think that's the one cool thing about having a partnership. It's not just about me grabbing gear and using it. It's also being able to give to the community and show them that Hollyland is there for the film culture and community. So pretty sick. They sent some pretty cool stuff. Some of the stuff that I wish I would have kept, but I had to give away for the prizes, and that was really cool. Thank you to Hollyland for that. The other ones is another company that has just been amazing this year is Portkeys. Portkeys sent over the BM7. If you haven't messed with this one, the BM7 2DS, with the new Cinenorm OS, this is I would dare to say one of the best monitors out there for the price and functionality. In the beginning, I explained to people I love that it has 2-pin D-tap. That's like one of the things that you absolutely need, especially when you're using like Komodos and different cameras that now have 4K output. You want connectors that are professional, so that you always know that your ground, your negative, and your positive are always hitting at the same time. There is no loop, electronic loop that is not being closed in the circuitry when you're connecting these things. So something like that is amazing. And then they have a bunch of different battery solutions, but they have four different powering solutions for this. 2 SDIs, which I don't do the functionality. A lot of people like the whole like having two images in here. I really don't care about that because I think it's just too small, and I'm just old. You know, I'm super old, and so I don't. It's getting harder for my eyes to see it, but the panel looks great. Almost all this year, I never calibrated it. I spent the time the other day to calibrate all my monitors, and they all look great now. Another monitor that was sent to me by Portkeys was this HS8. The HS8 doesn't have touch functionality. So almost everyone that comes up to this, they come and they get their fingerprints all over, and they're like, what's wrong with it? And it's not a touch screen. The reason why I like it is because it's so inexpensive, but it has all the features that you would need as a professional. And it's a massive screen. It's 8 inches, right? So for me, like I said, my eyes are older. I have this now matched with the other one. The cameras that I use will all look the same. So super excited about this one. It has found a place as my B cam. Usually I put this as my B cam, or I'll have it for the AC to be able to pull focus whenever we're doing stuff. So this has found its way in my kit as well. I don't leave without these 2 Portkeys monitors now. Next thing that I have is actually not it's not like it's actually something that I keep in my pocket all the time. And here I have what they call the O-Snap. It's a ring that goes around the back of your phone. And this works with your iPhones and all that stuff. You know, you can do the standard, like flipping it out. You can do a little booster seat like this. And then you can also, what's really cool about this is that you can take like MagSafe stuff and just like bolt it. And it gives you like more security than like if you were just, put it straight to the back of your phone, right? The other cool thing is that it has pass-through charging. So I can still charge my phone with the pass-through, backs. You know, the one you put in and will charge your phone, like you can literally leave it there. And it has been a game changer in my life because I use this for everything. Like I really do. And I have a little cool stand on my computer desk that I just like snap it on, and I can swivel it, however I need. Pretty awesome. Really excited. And it makes a lot of the MagSafe stuff that you might have even better. So pretty happy about that. Check out O-Snap when you get a chance. Got to work with that I actually used their stuff was a Rode. They sent a magnetic mount for the iPhone, which I found myself using this like quite a bit, especially for the social media stuff. And some of the social media clients that I had, they also sent this pretty cool cage that I felt, at first when I saw it, I was like, man, this should be a monitor cage, but I can't get a monitor to fit in here. And the holes and stuff, they don't line up. It's not very standard. Like, there's just a lot of things I didn't like about it. But when I went into straight on iPhone production, this actually worked very well. So it just helps to be able to pop your phone, off of it easily. You see that, and you just straighten it out, and you can put you can put the microphone or any of them there, and connect all your bells and whistles with the handles, which I'll show you. So I'm getting these monitor handles and just adapting them here. And then using Blackmagic software, on your iPhone has been also a game changer. So that's in my bag too. Using the Blackmagic Cinema app that is on your phone. It works really, really well. You can find these pretty cheap on Amazon. I'll have them there. But you can imagine being able to take this off easily And then you connect it to an arm, right? You can just connect it to an arm that's like this at any time. And you can mount, you can mount this anywhere, right? You can mount this thing anywhere, and you're doing that. You just turn it however you need. So, I mean, this here is awesome, but I don't think it's that awesome unless you have the O-Snap magnetic mount. So check that one out too. Dizio as well sent us some cool stuff. And Portkeys also sent stuff down so that we can share it at the Houston Media Conference. And I expect a lot of the other workshops that I have coming up to be able to show off some of the other cool items that will that I'm currently using, and then new items that they have. And who knows, those things might find a place in your bag. Overall, like, I'm pretty excited about all the things that we have done. I mean, I have a lot of other items and tools and things that I can show you. Some of the software that I use this year, just for you to know, because I consider it part of my bag or part of my cart, is the Cadridge app. If you haven't used that app, it's a great app that allows you to select different the camera, the sensor size, and the lenses, and it has like every lens you could think of already built into this iPhone that's like a viewfinder. And you can literally hand that over to your director, and the director can say, oh, I want the shot here. And what's cool is that you can go into spaces where you don't know if a whole camera is going to fit, so you can put that camera, and if they're like, hey, this is the widest, I want a wide shot here, you can be like, yo, look how wide this frame is. This is what you're going to get. And it's pretty true, and I really enjoy using that. If you're a gaffer, of course, use Sun Surveyor, Sun Seeker. Those are pretty cool apps that I've seen. That's always great to have whenever you go location scout. Whenever I work with these companies, I always let them know, like, hey, if you send me anything, make sure to send me extra items, things that I can give away or do at community giveaways or things like that. So I try to have this thing with Dizio. It was always awesome that I can not only like work with them, but I can literally say, hey, you got a macro lens, I'm going to take you to this guy who does macro work, and we're going to test out these things. Or you're looking to do these retro, hey, I got the guy, I got my friend who does short films and he loves doing that, and I'll DP for him, and we'll use those retro Vespids for that. I'm always like trying to find projects or things that we can test things out on. So if you have any questions, or if you're a company that wants to work with me, let me know. I'm always down to try things out, to try some of the items out. But once again, if they just don't work if I don't like them, or they just don't work out, like, I let you know. I let you know how this is. Like, I'm not just going to do a review of a product that I know for sure I'm not going to use ever. And so I was super surprised by a lot of this stuff. Hollyland has stepped their game up. Dizio has stepped their game up. Portkeys has stepped their game up. Rode, they have some cool products that are unique in itself, and I enjoy their stuff. Also, there's a couple other companies that have been really cool with me: IDX, Alpha I, and several others. So Nanlite as well, they sponsored the Houston Media Conference, brought out all the cool lights and stuff for that. So super thankful for everyone. I hope you guys have a happy new year. Celebrate it well, because we're getting ready to grind in 2025. So we'll see you there. On the flip side, we'll be talking. Take care. Peace.
Cristian, anda así despacio.
Mira, aquí nomás. Happy New Year for everybody.